Dr. Zakir Naik. Thank you for watching this if you do. Now, it's very important to understand that a religion doesn't change based on the way that the population perceives it, nor the way that the population reacts. A religion is a religion, and anything anyone else builds around it has nothing to do with the religion. Those are their own standalone structures. Those standalone structures, or whatever they establish, are not religions, they're false religion. It's like pseudoscience is not science of a pseudo characteristic, it's just pseudoscience. They're false religions, not religion. Now, I'm not trying to boss you around or seem super smart or anything. Those are just facts of our vocabulary. Those are how words work. Now, because God is the God of all of the world and all the things that live on it, and He always has been and He always will be, and He's the only God. And God with a minor G doesn't pertain to people. It doesn't pertain to individuals. It doesn't mean some paranormal sentient being that has the capacity to interact with us. God with a minor G is not in any language a reference to a personage living out there somewhere that's capable of doing anything. The only character that has a G in front of it, pronounced God, is an omnipresent, holistic entity. An omniscient entity. I said it. Now, likewise, vocabulary works in such a manner that angels are not a reference to paranormal creatures either. It's not a reference to individuals. It's not a reference to beings. Angel has no relevance whatsoever to any idea of there being an invisible person capable of interacting with us, nor does the term demon. So the point gets around to, never in history has that been an aspect of a single religion. But God has religions all over the world. From every corner to the world, His religions continue to this day, and we can study them. And the more that we study foreign languages and foreign religions, we realize more and more that they are in fact all the same, and they're all true. And so what's beautiful about this is that when you realize that if you are confused and you're incapable of confiding in your own religion, for whatever reason you can't come to the sense that it is perfectly veracious, if you go out and you reach towards any other religion, it will always tell you that your religion in the first place was correct. Now, obviously that would be absolutely beautiful, and it is beautiful, because God is everyone's God, and every culture testifies to Him. There are no more false religions, there is only religion. And as much as all those religions are corrupted, all the kafirs, caliphates are completely kafirs. There's no Islamic characteristic to caliphates. Christianity has become completely perverse and ignored. Hinduism, people are under the impression that Krishna is not the only benevolent creator, and all of the other gods are scientific fields of philosophy and characteristics of skills and personality traits that we can say, you know what, I'm going to be an athletic person as opposed to an astute learner because it suits my needs. Hinduism has become confused and diluted, but the scriptures themselves and the religion itself, they're all pure. All of them. So every single religion proves every other religion to be right. And when you look at them, lots of them are lacking a lot of things that have been lost. People like to stipulate that Christianity is all super corrupt, but they're basing that on the principle that people weren't following the religion when the Crusaders came into the Middle East, and their empires that were allegedly established on Christianity were actually run by people who weren't Christians. And so the same manner as Islam has become diluted, not the scripture per se, but the way that it's taught and the way that it's understood. And the same can be said about all religions. Like, you don't need to read it to know it, and you can read it to know it because it's there, but it's a blasphemous offense to defecate in water. It's a blasphemy to eat meat that you call clean without properly draining the meat from it. It's not about how you kill the animal, it's how you treat the meat before you consume it. Breath. It's a blasphemy to exploit women and label it marriage because you claim them as a possession. It's a blasphemy. It's just adultery. It's not marriage on account of going through a ceremony when you're not even regarding what it's going to require of you to contribute to a healthy society and to the health of your child. When you go after women because you're just looking at yourself and saying it's accepted by God, because he doesn't explicitly say, oh wait, he does explicitly say, you're not supposed to be a pervert. But God, being omnipresent all over the world and living with us always, hasn't allowed us to fall too far away, and no matter where we reach, it always proves Islam is correct. It doesn't always prove that the Quran is correct, because they all have different attributes which have sustained themselves throughout time. But true Islam can be found everywhere, and they all point towards each other, and then they point to God, like a giant pyramid that points to the one and only true power fit for our worship. So the question isn't whether I ask of you, could you believe in this? Or do you believe in this? Or do you want to believe in this? Or should you study this to find out if it's true? The question is, do you think that is beautiful?